Regal's mystery movie is officially over. One could say that it is a significant downgrade from Jurassic World just last week. But when it comes to tonight, Oh Hi was the movie choice of the mystery movie. Now going in, it was not even on my radar. You look at the Regal app, it is not under the coming soon. There were other movies that I thought were going to be the choice for this film. However, Oh Hi is what they went with. Oh Hi centers around two young people named Iris and Isaac who are really in a situationship, and one of them wants to go further, while the other one begins to question the feelings that are there. Now, with this movie, I will point out, if you are not a fan of intimate scenes, that is what this movie consists of for the first 30 minutes. There's no storyline right at the beginning. That's all you see. And so you really are sitting there kind of confused. But as the film goes on, you start to realize what this film is centered around. And so I'm not going to waste any time getting into this. This movie was very underwhelming. With this movie, I was hoping at least for it to be funny, and there were parts within this movie that were funny. However, a lot of the comedy that came within was very forced. A lot of it came from one-on-one dialogue. It came from group dialogue. But some of the comedy just seemed like it was trying to make a funny point that really didn't have a true point within the movie. I think one of the most significant issues with this movie is that it lacks a solid storyline foundation. Now, in a sense, you have the intimate scenes that are taking place, and that could be a foundation. But you don't have a foundation from the sense of you understand what is actually going on in the movie. In some ways, I sat there thinking, is this another 50 Shades of Grey? Because that is what it looked like. There was no significant storyline plot put on the screen until about 40 minutes, 45 minutes within the movie. Now, for some people, they will say, hey, that's okay because we have a good amount of time within the movie. The problem is this movie is only an hour and a half. And with that, it really then kind of pushes everything that you see in the back half of the movie, and it almost feels forced. You are trying to watch and understand because you're like, hey, I think I get it. But then you start to see other aspects where you're confused. Now, is the acting in the movie good? I would say yes. I think each character played a role within this film that they needed to play. Now, Iris is a character that I think one of the downfalls is they kind of made it seem like she was supposed to be the good girl, and we were supposed to feel bad for her. But I think the story and the situation surrounding her and what role she takes on what essentially is the main plot, it makes you hate her. As the movie kept going and going, the only thing that I consistently thought of was how much I did not like her. And I think it's because I know people in my own life that act the way that she did. So let's get into the pros and cons. I think a pro in this movie is the acting. I think each character has a specific role they need to play. I think it has to be done the way it is from the acting perspective. I think another pro is some of the scenes are legitimately funny. I think when you avoid the scenes that are forced, and you actually watch the movie play out and see the scenes that come natural, I think that's funny. There is a man named Eddie who enters the scene, and he is absolutely hilarious. I think that is the one time that, or the one person I should say, that actually got a legitimate laugh. Now let's look at the cons. I think the biggest con within this movie is the storyline. I think the overall lack of a significant storyline puts this movie at risk of not being in theaters very long. And I think as the movie plays out, I really thought that this would have been better as a streaming service movie. Whether it's Netflix or Amazon Prime, that is what this felt like. I think the other con that really stands out is if you want a legitimate audience reaction and whole overall perspective of the movie to be good, the ending was ridiculous. I think there was so much more that could have been done with the ending that could have made this movie even better. Even though I say even better, and this is not a movie I will watch again, but I think it could have at least wrapped it up in a way that had the audience saying that was decent. But I think the way that this movie ends is not very good. But overall rating, I think for me, this movie is a 2 out of 5. Many times I thought it was about to turn into a slasher movie, and I was hoping that it would have, but it didn't. But overall, oh hey is a 2 out of 5. I will not watch this movie again. It comes out at the end of the month, but it is the mystery movie this week. Like I said, it is a downgrade. But when it comes out, if you're interested in romance type comedy movies, you may find interest in it. But when it comes out, you'll have to let me know what you think of it. Thank you all for the continued support. Thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you all later. Hit the subscribe button.